Hey everybody, welcome to the first MOONday Monday video. This is something new I'm going to try out, and it basically is a video that talks about all the moon energy and any kind of important planetary energy that stands out as well, to help prepare us for what energies from the planets and life are going to be coming across our path during the week. So, of course, we are water beings. We're made up of about half or more of water, depending on what age we are. And so because of that, the moon, which controls and impacts the tides of the planet, also emotionally impacts us. So that's why there's a lot of freaking out during a full moon and, all that kind of interesting things because we're influenced. And the moon does go through a different cycle, a different zodiac sign every 2 to 3 days, as well as, as it goes through different moon cycles for the full moons, the new moons. All of that impacts us and influences us. So it's good to know that we're not, going out of our emotional minds because we one day feel very grounded, the next day very emotional, another day in our thoughts and, all the different energies, the fire signy energy of passion and action. So I'm going to try this out and let me know what you guys think down below in the description box if there's anything else you'd like to see, and let's get into it. All right, so we're going to step back in time in this first video. Going forward, of course, we'll always be ahead of the game, but it's important for us to kind of reflect back to yesterday. So on Sunday, September 3rd at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we did go into the Taurus Moon. And that brings us in a feeling of being solid, secure, grounded with that earth energy. There's sensuality that comes with that. And there is this no stress, no hurry, relax, take your time. We can be a little bit resistant to change, especially when it's others that are trying to change us. If it's us wanting to change things, we're a little less resistant, but if anyone is trying to change us, that Taurus bull is at its heightened state there. It's the sign that has a lot of appreciation for beauty, the surroundings, things of the earth that are beautiful, and surrounding ourselves with beauty. And then, of course, this also is all about money and resources and looking at those things. So all of that energy will be present and will be guided and kind of nudged for things regarding that. I did want to interject here too, because Venus went direct. I'll talk about retrogrades here in a moment. And we were in the pre-shadow of the Venus retrograde since June 19th. So we felt the energy of Venus going in retrograde as early as that. And then it went full retrograde from July 22nd until yesterday evening. On September 3rd at 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, we'll still be in the post-shadow until October 7th, so we're still going to feel the influences of this. And I'll talk more about retrogrades here, like I said, in a moment, what all that pre-shadow and all that means. But it is a time for us, like it says here, to reflect on how we've been loved and how we loved others, and also for in the future, how we want to love and be loved. So Venus, of course, rules over Taurus. So with the Taurus moon and this Venus going direct, you might have a lot of emotional awareness that comes up both on Sunday and Monday, September 4th. This looks kind of crazy, like, what is all of this? But I wanted to put this together because we're in a kind of a unique situation. A lot of planets do go retrograde every year. And retrograde is where, from the Earth's point of view, it looks like a planet is moving backwards. But it's like almost like when you're walking around a track, like at a high school or something, and someone is running fast, so it almost looks like they're in some ways, like especially the planets that are closer to the sun, like Mercury and Venus, it looks like that they are going backwards when actually they tend to loop us because their rotation around the sun is smaller. The outer planets go so slow compared to the Earth that it looks like we're actually lapping them, and it looks like they're going backwards. It's just that we're going faster. So depending on the viewpoint of where we are looking at from the Earth, it looks like the planets are going backwards. And so the degree of which they are in comparison to us changes. I'll probably do a video on the retrograde with some pictures to make more sense of that in the future. But you can see here with retrograde, there's a pre-shadow. The pre-shadow is the period where it starts to slow. And I won't get into all the nitty-gritty details of how you calculate the dates because it can get confusing. But it's where we start to feel the effects of the planet going into retrograde. And depending on what planet it is, I'll put some information out in upcoming videos, what each of these different planets brings into our world, right? What part of our life it impacts. Like Mercury is our communication in a way, how we like to communicate and be communicated to. So when Mercury goes retrograde, which that's the kind of the common known one that everyone goes, oh no, we're freaking out, things are going to blow up, and phones stop working and electronics don't do so well with communication. And that's because this is a reflective type of energy. And we eventually hit where we go full retrograde, where the planet is moving backward in degree. And then eventually it starts speeding up again when it goes direct. But even when it goes direct, like with Venus, which just went direct last night, we're going to be in its post-shadow from September 4th to up to October 7th when it returns to the full degree it was at when it started going into retrograde. So we'll still have this period. The pre-shadow is where we feel the effects of the retrograde, and the post-shadow is more of a reflection time of going, what did I learn while I was looking back over the retrograde? And retrogrades are not nasty, mean things. They're just different energies, and we can take advantage of the energies when we know we're going into it, which we'll talk about here in a moment, as we have another planet that is going to go retrograde on today's September 4th. It actually probably already has by the time you've seen this video. And we can look and understand it. I had a wonderful course that I took from Annie Botticelli, wonderful, wonderful astrologer. And she mentions, retrogrades are like when the tide is coming in. When the tide is coming in, you don't try to launch and, go out in your boat because you're going to end up investing a lot of energy rowing, trying to get over those tides coming in, and it may even flip the boat over, right? So we make a better use of our energy to reflect and repair our nets, scrape the barnacles or whatever, prepare for a launch when the tide starts going back out again, when the energy goes direct. So you can see all this. And right now we've got 6 or 7 planets that are in retrograde, and you can see them all here. Mars was retrograde earlier this year, and they won't be retrograde until 2024. Of course, Venus just went out of retrograde, but you'll see Jupiter, which we'll talk about next year, is going retrograde today. So they kind of tag teamed in with that energy. So a lot of super reflection energy coming in right now. So if you feel very inner focused, well, now you know why. So as I mentioned, Jupiter went retrograde this morning on Monday, September 4th at 10:10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, it's been in its pre-shadow already since June 11th, and it's going to be in retrograde from today and through to almost the end of the year. Again, it will be in its post-shadow from the end of the year till March 23rd. So it's going to be a bit of reflection time. The planets that are further out are in retrograde longer because of their orbit is so much longer than the inner planets. But when you look at Jupiter energy, of course, it rolls over Sagittarius. So you Sagittarians, you might be even extra inner reflective and expansive. But Jupiter is the planet of like reward. It is the planet of expansiveness. And when it goes retrograde, it does turn us inward, which it says, encouraging inner growth and reflection. Yay! But we can return to those studies, those practices, those philosophies that pull us through challenges and that motivate us to embrace the future. I kind of look at Jupiter retrograde because it's the planet of abundance, and it brings us wonderful things and knowledge and foreign travel and those types of things that with that Sagittarius energy, it's a time to reflect back and go, wow, what do I have to be grateful for? Look at all the wonderful, wonderful things that have happened in my life that I'm grateful for, because that just helps expand that energy and draw more things to be grateful for to us, that when we go direct, we just zip even more forward. So I love this Jupiter retrograde energy. All right, so back to the moon energy. We are, of course, hanging around in Taurus energy until we move into the Gemini moon, which will be on Tuesday, September 5th at 4:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, Gemini moon energy can have us kind of restless. There's a lot of mental stimulation that can happen. Gemini is all about learning and growth and a lot of the thinking, right? I love, too, that because they're the twins, it's the gimme two of these. And it's funny, my host, she's a Gemini moon. We cracked up because that's what happens. She'll go shopping or whatever and go, oh, I'll get two of these. Here, do you want one? There's always this purchase of two things. And it's so true with her being a Gemini moon. So that's hilarious. But I love that energy. So if you feel that way during these couple of days, then you know this is the Gemini moon influencing you. Things we can do to make the most of this energy, this mental energy, is letter writing, communicating, phone calls, and even taking some short trips. So the energy really supports a short trip. You know, the Sagittarius energy is more long, further trips, but this Gemini energy is shorter trips. And we'll be in that Gemini moon until Thursday, early morning, 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So depending on where you're at in the world, if you're on the West Coast, that's going to be influencing you, Wednesday, way into the, late hours. But we move into the Cancer moon, and the moon actually rules over Cancer. So there's this significant energy, very emotional, watery energy, right? So it's the most nurturing sign and energy of the moon. You can think of Mother Luna, and you'll have more energy focused in on interactions with mother, with home, with family, with children. That whole nurturing type of feel around it. And emotions kind of want to be expressed. They almost demand to be expressed. Water moons definitely bring that to us. So the Pisces moon and the Scorpio moon, too, do that. But the Cancer moon is one of the most emotionally expressive ones. So buckle up, Buttercup. And we can, of course, any of the moons we look at, whatever we focus on is what grows and expands. And there's lower vibration and higher vibration, lower reflection and expression of each sign, as well as a higher expression, higher vibrational expression. So, if we focus on unconditional love and joy and peace and laughter, those emotions want to be expressed and will be multiplied. If we're in the other side of it, that's going to be it too. But the power comes in knowing that we're the ones that get to choose what we're feeling in each moment. So we can take a hold of that, because we can have this sympathetic kind of energy that comes in where we want to help others. We get into this mood to care for others. So it can ignite that side of us. Or if we go into our fears, we might go in the other direction as well. And we're going to be hanging out in that Cancer moon energy until Sunday, September 10th at 12:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we go into Leo, fiery Leo moon energy. I love this picture. It's almost like fire starter. Their hair is static. All this energy is flowing, but it brings in capital D drama, because the Leo energy, the lower vibrational expression of that energy can be a need for attention. I want to be recognized, applaud me, pay attention to me. So there is this energy of being drawn out and wanting to be seen by people and influence, the how I'm seen, and that type of energy coming in there. I like that it mentions to take in a show or star in one, because that brings you forward. And a side note, I just wanted to make sure, a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about here comes from this. It's the Llewellyn's 2023 Daily Planetary Guide, and it's by Michelle Perrin and Paul Bellomini. I'll post that and put it in the description box down below, so you can, if you're interested in following moon energy and the planetary energies, it's a great reference there as well. Because, of course, with Leo moon energy, they have the romantic gene within them, wanting to share romance, wanting to express that. And we can have this great opportunity to express our feelings for someone else, but we want to do it in style, right? I love this Leo moon energy. All right, I hope all that information was helpful, and we'll continue to dive into some different things around the energies too, like, if this is happening in any of our signs of any of our planets, or even across the zodiac sign. There's a lot of different things that can influence, and we can understand it more, and I look forward to diving into that deeper and deeper together. So if you guys are enjoying this and you have any other opinions or things that you would like to see in these videos, comment down below. I love to hear it, and of course give it a thumbs up. Tells me that you enjoy the videos too. So until next time, hang in there, enjoy the waves of the moon energy, and we'll see you soon. Until then, know that each and every second of every day of your life, that you are unconditionally loved by the Mother and the Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you guys too. So until I see you again, much love to you. You hang in there, and you take care.